Hello and welcome to a new edition of Echo at Africa, brought to you by Deutsche Welle, Channels Television and KTN. I am Neota Igbe from Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Edith Kimani from Nairobi, Kenya. Together we cover exciting environmental stories from all over Africa and of course Europe. Let's have a look at what we have for you today. We meet 3 doctoral students from Ghana. The environmental scientists are actually in Germany to learn work on coastal management in their home country. A major airport in Turkey is proving controversial. Firstly, because of potential environmental damage, and secondly, because it will deprive a number of people of their livelihoods. We'll also be catching up with a fruit and vegetable farmer in Uganda. Going organic helped him secure a brighter future for his family. Just a few days ago, the 3 partners at Deutsche Welle, KTN and of course Channels TV met to discuss how to better improve coverage of environmental issues across the continent. Now that event took place right here in nature. Now what's a better place to talk about the environment than right in the middle of a national park?
A day to celebrate. Kenya's KTN TV broadcaster, which is part of the Standard Media Group, has joined the German-African co-production Echo at Africa. The Echo at Africa programme provides a broad platform for issues such as wildlife protection, pollution and climate change in Africa and Europe.
The issues on the environment are so critical because this really is impacting on how citizens of this country live, and often enough we don't have enough information in terms of what we're doing with the environment, and we believe that this magazine will go a long way in terms of enhancing knowledge, information and the capacity of people to make better decisions.
Nigeria's Channels Television is already a co-producer of Echo at Africa. They're also pleased to have KTN as a new partner on board.
Being here in Kenya in particular highlights why we need to work on the environment, why we need to save the planet, why we need to all be doing our bit to make the planet a better place for everyone to live. And KTN, Standard Group, are the partner that's going to make it a Pan-African project with Europe in the form of DW. It's really exciting and I'm so glad to be part of it.
Kenya's environmental policies have made progress. It's the only African country with a Climate Change Act, a law enforcing climate action that has already benefited reforestation efforts. Many local activists are also contributing to environmental protection. The artist Kioko Mivitiki, for example, turns waste into sculptures.
A round of applause for Eco Heroes,
Kioko Mivitiki and other activists will comment regularly on Kenyan environmental issues for Echo at Africa. They'll serve as environmental ambassadors for the programme.
People are slowly losing the values that hold them back to the past, and the values that really dictate the things they're doing and how they affect the environment. So it's important that we bring the young and the new generation into that awareness so that we can all be involved in creating a better world that doesn't have a lot of waste.
This evening on KTN News, catching at 8:30.
Echo at Africa is now presented by 2 hosts, Neota Egbe from Nigeria and Edith Kimani from Kenya. DW's marketing manager Guido Baumhauer praised the first African-European co-production of an environmental programme. Time to celebrate. A new chapter for KTN, Channels TV and DW. Echo at Africa will continue its coverage of issues such as green living, renewable energy and the fight against water pollution.
Time now to introduce to you 3 PhD students from Ghana: Kofi Sapon Adumanu, Lloyd Labi and Edward Kumson. Right now, they are spending 3 months at the University of Oldenburg in northern Germany. The German Academic Exchange Service supports students and scientists from whose research focuses on the environment issues. Three Ghanaians are working together with German IT experts. One of their projects entails measuring water pollution in Ghana and reducing it where possible.
So this way.
This is his favorite building in Oldenburg, the city palace.
I like this town. It's small town, but with wonderful people. And everyone, as you meet on the way, they smile at you. And this is not seen everywhere you go. So I think I like the people of Oldenburg.
These Ghanaian graduates are spending 3 months in northern Germany on scholarships. Today they're enjoying a break from their studies at the University of Oldenburg. Kofi is a computer scientist. His two colleagues are environmental scientists. They're researching Ghana's pressing environmental problems, such as water pollution.
These sensor devices, we want to deploy them in the water bodies, and then they will sense some specific water parameters like pH, temperature, dissolved oxygen, turbidity, and then many more. This data could be transmitted from that point to another location and then be able to give interpretation of this data to the people, because many people are getting cholera, are getting typhoid and other water-related diseases because of the water they drink in Ghana.
The University of Oldenburg is partnered with 6 African universities. The Ghanaian doctoral students are here to see how Germany promotes recycling and sustainability. That includes failures, too. A lot of e-waste, including from Germany, ends up in Ghana. It's a problem their hosts from the computer science department are familiar with.
It's really good.
From a computer scientist perspective, Ghana is quite important if it comes to recycling and disassembling all the computers you have or you used.
But a lot of electronic waste is burned or simply disposed of. This releases toxins that are harmful both to people and the environment. Lloyd Larby is researching pollution and environmental degradation on the eastern coast of Ghana.
The most important, the most challenging problem within the coast of Ghana. And it's particularly at the eastern coast, it has been noted that the place has been used as a dumping site where people dispose a lot of garbage, a lot of particularly plastics, and then a whole lot of waste materials at the coastal area. Also, inhabitants are cutting down mangroves. So we are hoping to enhance stewardship so that there will be a better protection for these ecological sites.
Edward Krumson is looking into the effects of climate change on farming in the north of Ghana. Rising temperatures are taking their toll on harvests. Farmers are resorting to felling trees and selling the wood. This creates a vicious circle.
So the soil becomes degraded because now it's more sunny. Because we have cut down the trees when it rains, the topsoil that is good for agriculture gets washed off when it rains. And so all of that are very important issues that affects them.
An affluent country like Germany is dealing with very different issues. The Ghanaians are impressed by the waste separation systems in place here.
I'll practice that myself when I go home. I'll begin. When I start, someone will also learn, and I'm sure gradually we'll make a change. Let's go out there.
The PhD students will be spending another month in Germany. When they return home, their German counterparts in the exchange program will be heading to Ghana to spend 3 months there.
That's good.
It's great to see good ideas working out. Edith, you have another story from your end of the woods.
That's right, NT. In Kenya, like in Nigeria, the sun shines pretty much all year round. So Salima Visram did the obvious thing. She founded Solar, a company that sews solar panels into school backpacks and ultimately helps improve the lives of school children. Today's Doing Your Bit report explains how.
The power is in their steps. They walk away from poverty and crime, away from life as potential prostitutes, which is what might become of them if they drop out of school. Because there's no electricity for the light they need to do their homework, or only a kerosene lamp that damages their health and pollutes the environment. But now they can charge a solar battery on their backs while walking to school. And in the evenings, they can study with a solar lamp, creating a brighter future for themselves. Salima Visram grew up in Kenya and invented the solar backpack. Sure, it's a business, but everybody wins. You buy a backpack for $69.99, and for each one sold, a child in need gets one for free. More than 500 solar backpacks so far have been given to children in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
Do you like that? If you are also doing your bit, tell us about it. Visit our website or send us a tweet. #DoingYourBit. We share your stories.
Let's stay with renewable energies. Like solar energy, biogas is an energy source which can be easily tapped in rural regions. All a home biogas plant requires is food waste, cow dung, and crop residue. For the equivalent of about €450, a business in Kenya supplies a weatherproof plastic bin bag, helps you assemble the plant, and gives you tips on how to produce green energy. Now, biogas is a low-cost fuel which can be used for any heating purpose, such as cooking and boiling water. So let's have a look at how this works.
Linus Waithaka runs a poultry farm in Kenya. Every day he collects the chickens' eggs and cleans out the dung from their pens. However, rather than throwing the dung away, he puts it to good use. It goes into a system that produces biogas from the dung. The process of fermenting the dung produces a gas that can be used for cooking.
The biogas, I just had been thinking about the waste that I get from the chicken droppings, and I had always decided to know a way I can utilize it, especially as a form of energy. So through internet, I came across Flex Biogas.
Linus Waithaka bought the system from a company in Nairobi. The company, which is run by Dominic Wanjehia, has introduced this Flexi Solution kit that is both portable and relatively easy to install. It's designed for use in private homes rather than big companies.
It kind of picked up. A lot of people got more and more interested. As they got interested and started using the tool, we developed the tool with their comments and with their suggestions, because we thought it should do something, and when in fact they were using it very differently. So we developed the tool to suit the people.
The system is fabricated from specially treated robust materials designed to withstand all weathers. It is manufactured to last over 10 years. The installation process only takes 3 hours. It's certainly an effective way for farmers like Linus Waithaka to make use of biological waste.
I can comfortably say in a month, I'm saving at least 5,000 shillings every month. So you can see in a year, that's about 60,000 shillings. And if I installed it at 76,000, you can see it is just right above a year. You'll have recouped the cost of installing.
Since using the system, Linus Waithaka now has a steady supply of gas, more than enough to cook his eggs. 1,500 homes are currently using the kit. The aim now is to provide the system on a larger scale, ready for use in schools and other institutions.
And Turkey is building a third airport north of the city of Istanbul. The airport's construction is linked with environmentally destructive mega projects that cover almost 80 square kilometers of land. The work is destroying vast swaths of forest, lakes and ponds, causing serious local concerns about biodiversity, loss of natural habitat, loss of future nest and water supply problems, and local farmers had to give up parts of their land without compensation. Many have moved away, but Mustafa is still fighting for his rights.
"30 cows and about a dozen sheep are Mustafa Bozorg's entire livelihood. Every morning, he heads out to the pasture to see how they're doing. The edge of his fields marks where the old Turkey meets the new Turkey. From here, you can see the construction of the country's third airport, which will be the largest in the world, on an area once covered by forest.
The airport field will come to within 300 meters of our village, practically right up to it. It'll mean the end of agriculture here. Over 2/3 of our land has been taken away from us without any compensation.
The government justifies the land grab by citing the common good, that is, the good of the nation. With 6 runways planned, the mega airport is seeking to become the principal hub between East and West, between Europe and Asia. But the airport means the destruction of the northern forest, some of the last woodland near Istanbul. Environmentalists are up in arms against the huge project. Onur Akgül from the conservation organization Northern Forest Defense sees serious consequences, not only for the local farmers, but for the whole region.
The project is being built in the middle of a forest. It'll destroy freshwater reservoirs like Lake Terkos, which supplies drinking water to Istanbul. And it poses a threat to wetlands and rivers critical for agricultural land. There's also a danger it'll affect the climate.
The airport consortium behind the project is brushing off environmentalist concerns.
When we acquired this land, it was fallow. It was an ugly site. Now we're turning it into something by developing it. So from that perspective, we are the true environmentalists.
This access highway cuts straight through the northern forest. Many bird species here may end up losing a prime habitat, and the greater Istanbul area will be deprived of much of its green belt. With the help from satellite images like these, the Northern Forest Defense is tracking and documenting the destruction of the remaining forests. But environmentalist calls for conservation measures have gone unheeded.
There are 575 plant species in Istanbul's northern forests. A large number of them are protected species. Unfortunately, their protection is being violated. 13 species only found here are threatened with extinction. Moreover, the area is critical for agriculture.
The residents of Yeniköy, Mustafa Bozorg's village, are divided over the massive building project. Many locals have found work at the construction site and think the airport will bring lasting prosperity to the area. Many others are anxious about the future, as well as the prospect that the new airport could give rise to heavy urbanization. If that happens, Mustafa Bozorg will likely lose his fields and have to get rid of his livestock. For him, the airport isn't a step forward. It means the destruction of his livelihood. That's why he refuses to give up the fight, even if resistance seems hopeless.
Now, humankind and the environment are paying a high price for progress. Edith, you've got some news from Uganda.
Yes, I do. In Uganda, hundreds of thousands of farmers live off organic agriculture. It's actually the continent's #1 producer of organic fruit, spices and coffee. But now Uganda's sustainable farming sector is stagnating. Many small farmers can't afford to make the switch and there are few state subsidies. Kulika is a local initiative that trains organic farmers and helps them find cooperatives they can supply. Organizations like these can then guarantee fixed prices and regular customers.
Christine Kabogoza is a farmer in southern Uganda. She grows pineapples using no artificial fertilizers or pesticides. The certified organic fruit is exported to Europe. It's a profitable business that brings in twice as much as she'd earn selling her fruit here in Uganda. Now that I switched to organic produce, I can pay my children's and grandchildren's school fees. That's very important to me. I couldn't afford that before. Organic farming has so many advantages. We used to use oil lamps at night. Now we have solar energy, just like people who live in the capital. We don't have to buy paraffin anymore, which is wonderful. Here in the Ugandan capital of Kampala, the fruit is cleaned and packaged, ready for transport to Germany. Environmentally and health-conscious consumers are willing to pay higher prices for this organic produce. In wealthy countries, organic products are more popular than ever. 200,000 farmers in Uganda are already benefiting from this demand, and the director of the BioFresh Export Company believes that even more could do so. Much agriculture in Uganda is organic because farmers can't afford chemical fertilizers or pesticides. But there's a problem.
The farmers have a good product that's organically grown, but cannot be sold because it's not certified. Now, when it comes to the process of certification, it is quite expensive. You find maybe, depending on the number of farmers, depending on the acreage, the certification cost could be maybe anywhere between 10,000 euros to 20,000 euros. And for any group of farmers, whether they get themselves together in a group even of 100 or 200 farmers, it's a very big amount for the farmers to be able to gather together.
Along with the costly certification, farmers who hope to export organic produce to Europe also need training and expertise. Kulika is an NGO that helps small-scale farmers professionalize their operation. In their training courses, they show farmers how to maintain soil health and how to protect their crops using natural pesticides. Kulika says demand for its training courses is high.
For Uganda, we still believe that sustainable organic agriculture is the way to go. We believe it strongly because we've seen it support so many farmers. We've seen so many people benefit from it. People really want to sell a product which is very good to the market. So it's usually about the information, about the fees, because and then the money generated to organize the farmers. That is really what is a challenge.
Many farmers in Uganda are left to face these challenges on their own. Many would like to export their organic products to Western markets, but there's no state funding to help with obtaining the necessary certification. Rather than promote organic farming, the Ugandan Ministry of Agriculture wants to further industrialize agricultural production.
We want to increase production and productivity for industry. We have really to allow in some level of fertilizer and agrochemicals because we need them. Otherwise, our productivity is really very low. We have to improve it by using yield-enhancing technologies or inputs.
But many experts believe that hundreds of thousands of farmers in Uganda could escape poverty if the government would provide support with the initial investment. Christine Kabogoza was fortunate. The export company paid for 200 farms to receive organic certification, and hers was one of them. It's a win-win situation. The company also reaps a profit. If Ugandans are smart, they'll all switch to organic farming. There are so many advantages. The most important is our own health. If you eat organic food, you'll live longer. You don't live as long if you eat food that's been treated with chemicals. Plus, you get a higher price for organic products. Christine Kabogoza is convinced. If she were a bit younger, she says, she'd plant even more organic pineapples.
So there's plenty of people fighting for a better and healthier environment in all parts of Africa and creating good ideas together with European partners. Well, those are all the reports we had for you today. Bye-bye from Nairobi.
And goodbye from Lagos, Nigeria. For more on our environmental coverage, ideas and solutions, visit our website, and you can also join the conversations on our social media platforms. Till we bring you another edition, same time next week, it's bye-bye from Lagos, Nigeria.